Stop chasing quick fixes and empty promises. Your weight isn't about a fad diet or starving yourself. It's a reflection of how well you understand and fuel your body. In the next hour, you will learn exactly how to regulate cravings, ignite your metabolism, and create daily habits that control your weight naturally. No gimmicks. No excuses. By the end of this audiobook, you will have the strategies to transform your body, your energy, and your life, starting today. Chapter 1. Stop sabotaging yourself. Understand your body first. You can't fix what you don't understand. Say it again. You can't fix what you don't understand. Most people fail at weight management not because they lack motivation, but because they are fighting the wrong enemy. They think the battle is against food, or against laziness, or even against their body. But the real battle is against misunderstanding how their body truly works. If you don't understand your body, you'll keep trying to outsmart it. You'll skip meals and wonder why your cravings explode at night. You'll punish yourself with long workouts and still gain weight. You'll think your metabolism is broken, when really, it's just reacting exactly as it's designed to. Let's strip away the confusion. Your body isn't your enemy. It's an incredibly intelligent system built for survival. It does exactly what it's supposed to do: store energy when it thinks food is scarce, slow down when you deprive it, and ramp up hunger hormones when you're under stress. The problem isn't your biology. The problem is your strategy. 1. The hidden habits that sabotage you. Weight gain rarely happens from one bad decision. It's death by 1,000 tiny, unconscious habits. The snack you eat without noticing, the soda you drink to perk up, the late-night scrolling that cuts into your sleep. Dr. Wendy Wood, author of Good Habits, Bad Habits, explains that about 43% of daily actions are habitual, not conscious decisions. That means nearly half of what you do in a day, including eating, happens on autopilot. So, if you're trying to manage your weight without managing your habits, you're running uphill blindfolded. Start here. Spend 3 days tracking not just what you eat, but when, where, and why. Patterns will emerge. Maybe you snack more when you're tired. Maybe you eat fastest when you're stressed. Maybe your biggest calorie intake happens not at meals, but between them. This isn't about shame. It's about clarity. Because you can't fix what you don't understand. Sleep is another silent saboteur. According to Dr. Matthew Walker, author of Why We Sleep, sleeping less than 7 hours a night can lower leptin, your satiety hormone, and raise ghrelin, the hunger hormone. Translation: poor sleep literally makes you hungrier, even when you don't need more calories. So, if you're cutting sleep to work more, to get ahead, or to binge-watch another episode, understand this: your body is fighting back. It's not a lack of willpower making you crave sugar. It's biology doing what biology does. Action step: before you change your diet or your workouts, change your awareness. Audit your automatic behaviors. Set a bedtime. Create boundaries with your phone and kitchen. That's where transformation begins. 2. Metabolism isn't the villain. People love to blame metabolism, as if it's some mysterious force that slows down just to spite them. But metabolism isn't your enemy. It's your engine. It converts food into energy, and that energy fuels every heartbeat, every thought, every breath. Dr. Herman Pontzer, author of Burn, new research blows the lid off how we really burn calories, lose weight, and stay healthy. Discovered that humans burn roughly the same total calories daily, regardless of how active they are, because the body adapts. It reallocates energy. In other words, when you over-exercise or under-eat, your body adjusts. It slows other processes, like digestion, immune function, or even reproduction, to preserve balance. That's why crash diets fail. You drop calories too fast, and your body panics. It lowers your metabolic rate to conserve energy. That's why, according to the Biggest Loser study published in Obesity, 2016, most contestants regained weight, and their metabolisms remained slower for years. So stop trying to trick your metabolism. Support it. Feed it consistently with quality fuel. Move often, not excessively. Hydrate. Build muscle. Because muscle is metabolically active tissue, meaning it burns calories even while you rest. You don't need to starve yourself to lose weight. You need to teach your body it's safe to burn energy again. Say it again. You can't fix what you don't understand. 3. Hormones, the real regulators. Calories matter, but hormones decide what happens to those calories. Insulin, cortisol, leptin, ghrelin. These are the backstage managers of your body's weight system. When you eat, insulin helps store energy. When you're stressed, cortisol encourages fat storage around the abdomen. When you sleep poorly or skip meals, leptin drops and ghrelin spikes, making you crave quick energy, like sugar and processed carbs. Dr. Sarah Gottfried, in The Hormone Cure, says bluntly, your hormones control your hunger, your mood, and your willpower. You can't outdiscipline hormones that are out of balance. So how do you fix them? Eat regularly, not constantly, but consistently. Long fasting windows can backfire if you're already stressed or underslept. Manage stress daily. Even 10 minutes of deep breathing or a walk outdoors lowers cortisol. Prioritize sleep as the foundation, not the afterthought. Your hormones want stability, not chaos. The more predictable your habits, the more your body trusts you, and the less it clings to fat as a survival mechanism. Remember the mantra, you can't fix what you don't understand. Understanding your hormonal rhythm gives you power. Ignoring it keeps you trapped in frustration. 4. Genetics set the stage, but you write the script. People often say, it's just my genetics. True, genetics can influence body type, fat storage, and metabolic efficiency. But genetics are not destiny. They are potential. What activates that potential are your choices. Dr. David Katz, founder of the Yale Griffin Prevention Research Center, said, genes load the gun, but lifestyle pulls the trigger. You can't control the body you were born with, but you can control the environment you create for it. Epigenetics, the study of how behavior and environment influence gene expression, shows us that healthy habits can switch off disease-promoting genes and switch on protective ones. So stop hiding behind your DNA. If your parents struggled with weight, that's not a curse, it's a warning. A call to understand and adapt. 5. Awareness before action. Before you jump into another diet or workout plan, slow down. Build awareness. Write down everything you eat and drink for 1 week, without judgment. Track your sleep. Note your moods. Log your energy levels. Patterns will reveal themselves. And once they do, you can begin to make surgical changes, not random ones. Weight management isn't about punishing your body into submission. It's about partnering with it. Understanding its language, hunger cues, fatigue, stress signals, and responding intelligently. That's how real change starts. Not through restriction, but through recognition. Not by forcing, but by understanding. Because you can't fix what you don't understand. Final reinforcement. So here's your first real challenge. Stop blaming your metabolism. Stop blaming your genetics. Chapter 2. Master your appetite. Hack cravings and hunger. Feed your body, not your impulses. That's the rule. That's the mantra. And until you live by it, you'll stay stuck in the same cycle of frustration and guilt. Most people don't struggle with hunger. They struggle with confusion. They don't know the difference between real hunger and emotional craving. They eat when they are stressed, when they are bored, when they are lonely, when they are tired. But hunger? True biological hunger? That's rarely the problem. Let's start with this truth. Cravings are signals, not commands. Your body isn't trying to sabotage you. It's communicating. When you learn to decode that communication, you gain control. When you ignore it, you lose it. 1. The science behind cravings. Every craving has a root cause. It might be biological, emotional, or environmental, often all three. Dr. Susan Roberts, author of The I Diet, found that most people who struggle with weight have what she calls conditioned cravings. These aren't real hunger signals. They are learned responses to triggers. For example, if you always eat chips while watching TV, your brain connects screen time with salt and crunch. You don't crave the chips, you crave the routine. The brain releases dopamine not just when you eat, but when you anticipate eating. That's why cravings often hit hardest before the first bite, not during or after. And here's the kicker. Your brain doesn't distinguish between emotional relief and physical hunger. Both activate the same reward centers. Dr. Judson Brewer, a neuroscientist and author of The Craving Mind, describes it perfectly. Every time we give in to a craving, we strengthen the mental loop that created it. The more you feed your impulses, the louder they get. So if you want to quiet the noise, you don't starve yourself, you retrain your brain. 2. Hunger versus craving. Learn the difference. Let's make this simple. Hunger builds gradually. Cravings hit fast. Hunger can be satisfied by a variety of foods. Cravings demand one specific thing: chocolate, chips, pizza. Hunger comes from your body. Cravings come from your mind. Next time you feel the urge to eat, pause and ask, would I eat a bowl of steamed vegetables right now? If the answer is no, it's not hunger. It's impulse. And remember, cravings are signals, not commands. You don't have to obey them. You can interpret them. Sometimes your body craves sugar because you didn't eat enough protein. Sometimes you crave salt because you're dehydrated. Sometimes you crave junk because your stress hormones are through the roof. Your job isn't to judge the craving, it's to understand it. You can't fix what you refuse to face. You can't conquer what you won't name. 3. Protein, fiber, and hydration. The real hunger hacks. Let's get tactical. Controlling appetite isn't about willpower. It's about strategy. You don't need to fight cravings. You need to prevent them. First, protein. Protein is the single most effective nutrient for appetite control. Dr. Donald Layman, a leading protein researcher, found that eating at least 25 to 30 grams of protein per meal reduces hunger hormones and boosts satiety for hours. Protein stabilizes blood sugar and reduces those crash and crave cycles. Start your day with protein: eggs, Greek yogurt, or a protein smoothie. Skipping breakfast or starting with sugar sets you up for cravings all day. Second, fiber. Fiber slows digestion, balances blood sugar, and keeps you full longer. Add vegetables, oats, chia seeds, or lentils to your meals. Think of fiber as your hunger anchor. It keeps your appetite grounded. Third, hydration. The U.S. National Academy of Sciences found that up to 37% of people confuse thirst with hunger. Drink water before meals. Hydrate consistently. Often, the craving for a snack disappears within minutes after drinking a glass of water. Make it your rule. Before you reach for food, drink water, wait 10 minutes, and ask again, is this hunger or habit? Feed your body, not your impulses. 4. Emotional eating. Rewire the habit loop. Cravings aren't always about food. Sometimes, they're about feelings. When stress spikes cortisol, your brain searches for comfort, and food provides a quick fix. That's why you crave chocolate after a long day or snacks during an argument. It's not about taste. It's about relief. Dr. Rachel Herz, neuroscientist and author of Why You Eat What You Eat, found that comfort foods literally reduce stress markers in the brain, temporarily. But the relief doesn't last. The crash comes next, and guilt follows. To break this cycle, you must replace the behavior, not just resist it. Here's how. Identify the trigger. Stress, boredom, fatigue, loneliness. Name it clearly. Interrupt the pattern. When you feel the urge to eat emotionally, do something physical. Step outside, stretch, or take 3 deep breaths. Replace the reward. Find a new outlet that delivers the same relief. Journaling, walking, music, or even talking with someone you trust. You can't erase the habit, but you can rewrite it. Remember what Dr. Charles Duhigg wrote in The Power of Habit. Once you understand a habit's cue and reward, you're halfway to changing it. You don't need more willpower. You need more awareness. Feed your body, not your impulses. 5. The real-world test, case study. Let me tell you about Lisa. Lisa was a 38-year-old teacher who snacked constantly at work. She'd eat candy between classes and grab chips before grading papers. She told herself she just had a sweet tooth. But when she started journaling her triggers, she realized she only snacked when she felt overwhelmed, especially after difficult students or meetings. It wasn't about the sugar. It was about stress. So we replaced the candy with a 5-minute breathing routine and a water bottle at her desk. We didn't ban sugar, we rewired the cue. Within 3 weeks, her cravings dropped by half. Within 6, they were gone. She learned the core lesson. Cravings are signals, not commands. When you feed the signal instead of fixing the source, the craving grows. When you address the source, it fades. That's mastery, not deprivation. 6. Mindful eating, the power of presence. Here's another truth. Most people don't overeat because they love food. They overeat because they are absent while eating. Slow down. Smell your food. Chew. Pay attention to texture, taste, and temperature. It sounds simple, but mindfulness activates the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for control. Dr. Brian Wansink from Cornell University found that distracted eaters consume up to 25% more calories per meal. That's not hunger, that's unconscious behavior. So, turn off the screens. Sit down. Breathe between bites. Respect the meal. The goal isn't to eat less, it's to eat consciously. When you do, your body tells you exactly when enough is enough. 7. Reinforcement and challenge. Let's repeat what matters. Feed your body, not your impulses. Cravings are signals, not commands. Your appetite isn't broken. Your body isn't your enemy. You've just been listening to the wrong voice for too long. The voice of habit, not hunger. Real discipline isn't about saying no to everything. It's about saying yes to what serves your body. You don't need to fight cravings. You need to understand them, decode them, and respond intelligently. For the next 7 days, track every craving. Don't act on it, analyze it. What triggered it? What emotion was present? What time did it happen? And how did you respond? At the end of the week, you'll see patterns, not problems. Chapter 3. Fuel Smart. The Truth About Nutrition. Quality fuel creates sustainable energy. Repeat that again. Quality fuel creates sustainable energy. Your body is not a trash can. It's an engine. And every engine runs only as well as the fuel you put in it. Most people treat their bodies like rental cars, drive them hard, skip the maintenance, and wonder why things start breaking down. They chase diets, detoxes, and quick fixes, but they never fix the foundation, nutrition. If you don't understand food, you can't control your energy. If you don't control your energy, you can't control your choices. And if you can't control your choices, you'll stay stuck in the same spiral of fatigue, cravings, and weight gain. It's not about eating less. It's about eating right. It's not about restriction. It's about precision. Because quality fuel creates sustainable energy. 1. The real job of nutrition. Let's get one thing straight. Food is not just calories. It's information. Every bite you take sends a message to your body. You're either telling your metabolism to perform, or you're telling it to shut down. Dr. Mark Hyman, author of Food, What the Heck Should I Eat?, says it plainly. Food isn't just fuel. It's medicine, it's information, and it's connection. When you eat sugar-laden, ultra-processed foods, you're telling your body to store fat, spike insulin, and crash later. When you eat balanced, nutrient-rich foods, you're telling your body to burn efficiently, repair cells, and stabilize energy. That's the truth. You don't need to be a nutritionist to understand macros or micros. You just need to grasp this. Everything you eat either helps you or hurts you. Quality fuel creates sustainable energy. That's not a slogan. It's biology. 2. The 3 macros that rule your metabolism. Let's break down the fundamentals. The 3 macronutrients that run your system: protein, carbohydrates, and fats. Protein, the builder. Protein isn't optional. It's the foundation of every cell in your body: muscle, bone, skin, and hormones. Dr. Donald Layman, one of the world's leading protein researchers, found that adults need at least 1.6 to 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight to preserve lean mass and regulate appetite. Here's the truth. When you skimp on protein, you don't just lose weight, you lose muscle. And losing muscle slows your metabolism. Protein isn't about bulking up. It's about staying functional, energetic, and lean. Start your day with 25 to 30 grams of protein. Eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, chicken, lentils, tofu. Pick your source, but make it count. Because without protein, you're running on empty muscle. Carbohydrates, the fuel. Carbs are not the enemy. They are energy. The problem is not carbs, it's bad carbs. Dr. David Ludwig, from Harvard University, explains in Always Hungry that highly processed carbs, white bread, sugar, pastries, cause rapid spikes and crashes in blood glucose. That crash drives hunger, fatigue, and fat storage. But whole carbs, like oats, quinoa, sweet potatoes, fruits, and vegetables fuel the body slowly and steadily. They deliver fiber, vitamins, and consistent energy. So here's the rule. If it's grown from the ground and still looks like food, it's good. If it's made in a factory and comes in a shiny box, it's not. Fats, the regulator. Healthy fats keep your hormones balanced, your brain sharp, and your appetite steady. Dr. Catherine Shanahan, in Deep Nutrition, notes that omega-3 and monounsaturated fats, from foods like salmon, olive oil, and avocado, reduce inflammation and support longevity. But trans fats, hydrogenated oils, and processed seed oils, they slow metabolism and inflame the system. You need fat, but you need the right kind. Eat the kind that burns clean, not the kind that clogs the engine. Quality fuel creates sustainable energy. 3. The forgotten heroes, micronutrients. Macros give you energy. Micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, determine how well that energy is used. Iron carries oxygen. Magnesium regulates over 300 enzymes. Zinc boosts immunity. B vitamins power metabolism. Dr. Joel Foyman, in Eat to Live, emphasizes, every cell in your body is screaming for micronutrients. When you feed your body empty calories, you're feeding it volume without value. That's why you can eat a massive fast food meal and still feel hungry an hour later. Your body isn't craving more food, it's craving nutrients. That's why the mantra matters. Quality fuel creates sustainable energy. So how do you make sure you're getting enough? Eat color. The more color on your plate, the broader your nutrient spectrum. Greens for magnesium, reds for antioxidants, oranges for beta-carotene, purples for polyphenols. Nature color-coded your food for a reason. Pay attention. 4. The framework. How to build smart meals. Let's move from theory to action. Here's a framework for meals that fuel you, not drain you. 1. Prioritize protein. Start with a lean protein source: chicken, eggs, fish, beans, tofu, or lean beef. Build every meal around this anchor. Protein should cover about a quarter of your plate. 2. Fill half your plate with fiber-rich vegetables. Spinach, broccoli, peppers, carrots, zucchini. These aren't just side dishes. They're energy stabilizers. 3. Add slow carbs, not fast carbs. Opt for oats over pastries, brown rice over white, sweet potatoes over fries. 4. Include healthy fats strategically. A drizzle of olive oil, a handful of nuts, or a few slices of avocado. These slow digestion and keep you full longer. 5. Drink before you eat. Hydration reduces false hunger and improves digestion. Remember, nutrition isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. One bad meal won't ruin you. One good meal won't save you. What matters is what you repeat daily. Because quality fuel creates sustainable energy. 5. Swap this for that. Everyday upgrades. Here are simple, realistic swaps that make a massive difference. Swap sugary breakfast cereal for Greek yogurt with berries and chia seeds. Swap soda for sparkling water with lemon or cucumber. Swap white rice for quinoa or cauliflower rice. Swap creamy sauces for olive oil and herbs. Swap chips for roasted chickpeas or almonds. Swap a late-night snack for a cup of herbal tea or a walk. These aren't restrictions, they are upgrades. Each one replaces low-quality fuel with clean energy your body can actually use. Stop thinking in terms of what you can't eat. Start thinking in terms of what your body deserves to eat. Because it's not about punishment. It's about performance. 6. The energy equation. How food shapes focus and mood. What you eat doesn't just affect your body. It rewires your brain. In This Is Your Brain on Food, Dr. Uma Naidu explains how poor nutrition increases anxiety, depression, and brain fog. The gut and brain communicate constantly through the vagus nerve. When your gut is inflamed, your mood drops. When your gut is nourished, your mind sharpens. You can't build a powerful mindset on weak nutrition. Food affects focus, discipline, and emotional resilience. Want stable energy? Eat balanced meals. Want mental clarity? Ditch sugar spikes. Want better sleep? Stop eating late. Because every meal is a message, and quality fuel creates sustainable energy. 7. Reinforcement. The new standard. So here's the challenge. For the next 7 days, every time you eat, ask yourself, is this quality fuel or cheap fuel? If it doesn't serve your energy, your focus, and your health. It doesn't belong in your system. It's not about dieting, it's about direction. Chapter 4. Move with purpose. Exercise that actually works. Every movement counts. Let that sink in. Every step, every stretch, every rep, every minute you choose movement over comfort, it all counts. Most people don't fail at exercise because they are lazy. They fail because they are misled. They think fitness means living in the gym, chasing exhaustion, and punishing themselves. That's wrong. The truth. You don't need more exercise. You need smarter exercise. You need purpose. You need discipline. You need to understand that muscle burns fat, even at rest. Let's tear down the myths, rebuild the truth, and craft a plan that works for your body, your goals, and your life. 1. The problem with working out. Too many people treat exercise like a punishment for eating. They binge, then burn it off. They run endlessly on treadmills, hoping the calories will balance. That's not fitness, that's guilt management. Dr. John Ratey, in his book Spark, The Revolutionary New Science of Exercise and the Brain, reminds us, exercise is the single best thing you can do for your brain in terms of mood, memory, and learning. Read that again. Your brain, not just your body. Exercise isn't punishment. It's empowerment. You don't work out because you hate your body. You work out because you respect it. The problem isn't lack of effort. It's lack of focus. You don't need to move more randomly. You need to move with purpose. Because every movement counts, but only if it counts towards something that matters. 2. Myth number 1. Cardio is the key to fat loss. Here's the first lie. Just do more cardio. You've heard it everywhere. Run more, sweat more, burn more calories. But here's the truth. Cardio burns calories during the workout. Strength training burns calories after. A 2012 study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology found that subjects who engaged in strength training had higher resting metabolic rates, even while sleeping, compared to those who only did cardio. Why? Because muscle burns fat, even at rest. Every pound of muscle you build becomes a 24/7 furnace, quietly burning energy even when you're sitting still. Dr. Brad Schoenfeld, one of the world's leading hypertrophy researchers, states, resistance training not only preserves lean mass during weight loss, it enhances it, leading to greater fat loss overall. That's why endless cardio doesn't reshape your body. It shrinks it. Cardio is a tool, not a solution. It improves heart health and endurance, but it won't build the body that burns fat efficiently. So don't chase exhaustion. Chase adaptation. Cardio has its place, but muscle burns fat, even at rest. That's your focus. 3. Myth number 2. More exercise equals more results. You don't need 2-hour gym sessions. You need intensity and consistency. There's a reason high-intensity interval training, HIIT, exploded in the last decade. It's efficient, it's powerful, and it works. A 2019 review in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that HIIT produced similar fat loss and cardiovascular benefits as traditional endurance training, but in half the time. That's not opinion. That's data. HIIT isn't about fancy moves. It's about maximum effort for short bursts, usually 20 to 40 seconds, followed by recovery. It triggers a metabolic effect called EPOC, excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, which means your body keeps burning calories for hours after you stop training. In other words, you're still burning fat while sitting at your desk later. That's efficiency. That's discipline. That's purpose. Every movement counts, but not every minute is equal. 10 minutes of focused HIIT can outperform an hour of lazy treadmill walking. It's not about time. It's about intensity. 4. Myth number 3. Strength training is just for bodybuilders. Too many people, especially women, avoid weights out of fear they'll get bulky. That's another myth. Dr. Stacy Sims, exercise physiologist and author of Raw, explains. Women don't bulk up like men because they don't have the same testosterone levels. Strength training builds lean mass, boosts metabolism, and supports hormonal balance. Strength training isn't about aesthetics. It's about function. It improves bone density, stabilizes joints, and protects you from injury. It's your armor against aging. And it's your metabolic weapon. You don't need a gym to start. Bodyweight squats, push-ups, planks, resistance bands, they all count. Add progressive overload over time, heavier weights, more representatives, tougher variations. It's not about lifting heavy once. It's about lifting consistently. Because muscle doesn't just look good, muscle burns fat, even at rest. 5. The overlooked secret, NEAT. Now, let's talk about the most underestimated fat loss weapon of all, NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. It's a mouthful, but the meaning is simple. The calories you burn through all the non-gym movement you do each day, walking, cleaning, standing, pacing, taking stairs. Dr. James Levine from the Mayo Clinic coined the term NEAT and found that it can account for up to 15 to 30% of total daily energy expenditure. That's huge. Think about it. The little stuff matters. Park farther away. Take stairs instead of elevators. Walk while taking calls. Do 10 squats after every hour at your desk. Each one sounds small, but together, they stack. Because every movement counts. Every choice to move instead of sit, to stand instead of slouch, it compounds. It's not about finding time to move. It's about using time better. You don't need to live in the gym. You need to live actively. 6. The blueprint. How to move with purpose. Here's how to put it all together. A simple, proven framework that works for anyone. 1. Move daily, NEAT. Walk, stretch, stay on your feet. Aim for 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day. Use your body often. This is your foundation, the background movement that keeps your metabolism humming. 2. Train smart, strength plus HIIT. 3 days per week. Strength training, compound lifts or bodyweight circuits, 0.2 days per week. HIIT, short, explosive sessions, sprints, jump squats, burpees, 0.2 days per week. Active recovery, walking, yoga, or stretching. That's 5 hours a week, not 15. 5 hours that actually change your body. 3. Focus on form and progression. Perfect form first. Then add load. Then increase volume. Progress, don't punish. 4. Recover like an athlete. Sleep 7 to 8 hours. Eat enough protein. Hydrate. Rest days are part of training, not a break from it. This is what it means to move with purpose. Every action has direction. Every rep builds momentum. 7. The mindset, discipline over motivation. You won't always feel like moving. That's fine. Do it anyway. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the fire. It's not about waiting for the perfect day, the perfect mood, or the perfect gym. It's about moving, now. Every time you move, you prove to yourself that you can. And every movement counts. You're not just burning calories. You're building consistency. You're building trust with yourself. You're proving that your body works for you, not against you. Because when you move with purpose, you don't just change how you look. You change how you live. 8. Reinforcement, the core truth. Let's bring it home. Forget the fads. Forget the fitness influencers. Forget the lies that keep you spinning in circles. Cardio burns calories, but muscle burns fat, even at rest. HIIT saves time and builds endurance. NEAT keeps your metabolism running all day. Strength training reshapes your body and your mindset. You don't need a new workout plan. You need a new standard. Stop chasing sweat. Start chasing results. Chapter 5. Fix your hormones. Balance is everything. Balance your hormones. Balance your body. Say it again. Balance your hormones. Balance your body. This is the chapter most people skip, and it's the one that determines whether you succeed or fail. Because if your hormones are out of balance, no diet, no workout, no supplement will save you. You can't out-train, out-starve, or out-hustle a hormonal imbalance. If you've ever said, "I'm doing everything right but nothing's working," this is why. Your hormones are the gatekeepers of your metabolism, your cravings, your energy, your mood, everything. They decide whether you burn fat or store it, whether you feel satisfied or starving, whether you wake up energized or exhausted. Weight management isn't just about calories. It's about chemistry. And when your chemistry is off, your willpower never stood a chance. 1. The hidden hormonal controllers. Let's name your real decision makers: insulin, cortisol, leptin, and ghrelin. They are not villains. They are messengers. They are signals your body uses to survive. The problem is, your modern lifestyle keeps those signals screaming all day long. Dr. Sarah Gottfried, author of The Hormone Cure, says it bluntly. Your hormones are the software that runs your body. When they crash, everything slows down. Metabolism, energy, fat loss. So, let's decode what's really happening behind the scenes. 2. Insulin, the fat-storing switch. Insulin is the master regulator of energy. Every time you eat, insulin helps move glucose, your body's fuel, from your blood into your cells. But here's the problem. When you constantly snack, sip sugary drinks, or live on refined carbs, insulin never gets a break. It stays high all the time. And when insulin is high, your body can't burn fat, because insulin's message is clear: store, don't burn. Dr. Jason Fung, nephrologist and author of The Obesity Code, puts it simply. Obesity is not about calories in, calories out. It's about hormonal imbalance, and insulin is the key player. So what do? You give insulin a rest. That means stop grazing all day. It means reduce processed carbs and sugar. It means balance your meals with protein, fiber, and healthy fats. Because it's not about restriction. It's about regulation. When insulin finally stabilizes, your body gets permission to burn fat again. Remember this: balance your hormones, balance your body. 3. Cortisol, the stress hormone that steals your progress. Cortisol is your body's built-in alarm system. It's released when you're stressed, a natural part of survival. But when stress becomes constant, cortisol never shuts off. And chronic cortisol doesn't just make you anxious. It makes you store fat, especially around your belly. Dr. Robert Sapolsky, a leading neuroscientist and author of Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers, explains that prolonged stress keeps cortisol high, which disrupts insulin sensitivity and triggers fat storage even when you're not overeating. That's why people under pressure often gain weight, even when they eat clean. You can't live stress-free, but you can control how your body reacts to stress. Here's how. Sleep deeply. Lack of sleep spikes cortisol faster than almost anything. Breathe intentionally. Deep breathing, even 5 minutes, reduces cortisol. Move regularly. Exercise lowers cortisol after you train, helping your body reset. Unplug. Chronic digital stimulation mimics chronic stress. Turn off screens before bed. It's not about avoiding stress. That's impossible. It's about mastering recovery. Because balance your hormones, balance your body. 4. Leptin, the satiety signal that's been silenced. Leptin tells your brain, you're full. You've had enough. But when you eat too much processed food, sleep too little, or gain excess body fat, your brain stops hearing that signal. That's called leptin resistance. So even when you've eaten enough, your brain still thinks you're starving. Dr. Robert Lustig, author of Fat Chance, calls leptin resistance the modern famine. He says, your brain believes you're in a famine, so it tells you to eat more and move less, exactly the opposite of what you need. So how do you fix leptin resistance? Eat real food. Junk food hijacks leptin signaling by spiking inflammation. Get quality sleep. Sleep restores leptin sensitivity overnight. Don't diet too harshly. Severe calorie restriction crashes leptin levels and drives rebound hunger. Remember, your body isn't broken, it's confused. You need to clear the static so the messages can get through again. Because when leptin works, hunger fades naturally. And when hunger fades, control returns. Balance your hormones. Balance your body. 5. Ghrelin, the hunger hormone you can outsmart. If leptin is the brake, ghrelin is the gas pedal. It's produced in your stomach and tells your brain it's time to eat. But here's what most people don't know. Ghrelin isn't constant. It comes in waves. It rises before meals and falls after. If you ignore a craving for 15 to 20 minutes, ghrelin naturally drops on its own. That's why emotional eating is so destructive. It teaches you to respond to every hunger signal instantly, instead of retraining your brain to ride the wave. Dr. Michael Greger, in How Not to Diet, notes that ghrelin adapts quickly to new eating patterns. After a few days of consistent meal timing, your body learns when to expect food and stops triggering random cravings. Action steps. Eat at consistent times. Teach your body when to expect fuel. Include protein in every meal. Protein blunts ghrelin better than carbs or fat. Drink water first. Mild dehydration often mimics hunger. The key lesson: Cravings are signals, not commands. Don't obey every signal. Observe it. Understand it. Then decide. Because balance your hormones. Balance your body. 6. The lifestyle interventions that rewire hormones. You can't supplement your way to balance. You earn it through daily discipline. Let's simplify the approach. 1. Sleep optimization. Sleep is the hormone reset button. Dr. Matthew Walker, author of Why We Sleep, found that people who sleep less than 6 hours a night experience a 30% increase in ghrelin and a 15% drop in leptin. That means less control, more cravings, and slower metabolism overnight. So set a bedtime. Protect your sleep like your health depends on it, because it does. 2. Stress control. Stress isn't just mental, it's metabolic. Every time you snap, rush, or worry, your cortisol spikes. Adopt a daily ritual, meditation, journaling, gratitude, or simply walking outside. You can't always control events, but you can control exposure. 3. Intermittent fasting, IF. Used wisely, intermittent fasting can restore insulin and leptin sensitivity. Dr. Walter Long-O, in the Longevity Diet, shows that time-restricted eating allows hormones to reset, not through starvation, but through structure. Try a 12-12 or 14-10 fast, 12 to 14 hours fasting, 10 to 12 hours eating. It's not about skipping meals. It's about giving your hormones time to breathe. Remember, structure builds freedom. Balance your hormones. Balance your body. 7. It's not about perfection. It's about rhythm. Your hormones thrive on rhythm, predictable sleep, steady meals, consistent movement. Discipline creates that rhythm. It's not about chasing perfection. It's about consistency. Your body doesn't need radical change. It needs reliability. Stop fighting your biology and start aligning with it. When you give your body what it needs, rest, nutrition, movement, calm, it rewards you with balance. And balance is everything. Chapter 6. Outsmart emotional eating. Control your mind. Emotional eating is not a food problem. It's a thinking problem. When you reach for the snack drawer after a stressful day, your body isn't asking for calories. Your mind is asking for comfort. And that's where most people lose the battle. They try to control food when what they really need to control is emotion. Let's get one thing straight. You can't fix your weight until you fix your relationship with discomfort. The chocolate, the chips, the extra slice of pizza, they are not solutions. They are distractions. You're not hungry for food. You're hungry for relief, escape, or dopamine. As clinical psychologist Dr. Susan Albus, author of Eating Mindfully, explains, emotional eating is not about food at all. It's a way to fill a void, numb pain, or reward yourself. That's why dieting alone never works long-term, because most people are treating the symptom, not the source. And the source is emotional reactivity, the inability to sit with an uncomfortable feeling without needing to escape it. Here's the truth. The people who control their eating don't have stronger willpower. They have stronger awareness. They recognize the difference between physical hunger and emotional hunger. And they train themselves to respond, not react. So let's break this down. Step 1. Recognize the real trigger. Most people think hunger starts in the stomach. It doesn't. It starts in the brain. When stress spikes, your cortisol rises. Cortisol doesn't just affect your mood. It directly drives cravings for high-fat, high-sugar foods. Why? Because your body evolved to store energy in times of perceived danger. A 2011 study from Yale University found that people with higher chronic stress had significantly more abdominal fat, even when they didn't overeat, and when they did eat under stress, they stored more of it. Here's the loop. Stress, cortisol, cravings, comfort eating, guilt, more stress. You're not weak, you're wired. But wiring can be rewired. Your first tool is awareness. The next time you feel a craving hit, pause for 90 seconds. That's how long an emotional wave typically lasts before subsiding, according to Harvard neuroscientist Dr. Jill Bolt Taylor. Feel it. Don't run from it. Breathe through it. Ask yourself, what am I actually feeling right now? Am I hungry for food or for distraction? That's not a gimmick. It's mental conditioning. Every time you sit with discomfort instead of feeding it, you're teaching your brain a new response. Remember this mantra: master your mind, master your weight. Step 2. Journal your triggers. Data is power. Emotional eating feels random, but it's not. It's patterned. Start a craving log. Every time you eat impulsively, write down what time it was, what you were feeling, what you were doing right before the craving hit. After 1 week, you'll see your emotional fingerprint. Maybe it's boredom after dinner. Maybe it's anxiety before a deadline. Maybe it's loneliness on weekends. Once you know the trigger, you can replace the response. Behavioral psychologist Charles Duhigg, in The Power of Habit, describes it as the cue routine reward loop. The cue is your emotion. The routine is eating. The reward is comfort. You can't destroy the loop, but you can rewrite it. Replace the routine with a healthier one. When the craving hits, try movement. Take a brisk 5-minute walk, mindful pause. Drink a glass of water and take 10 slow breaths. Expression. Write down exactly what's stressing you. You'll find that 80% of the urge disappears once you name it. Because emotions need expression, not suppression. Again, master your mind, master your weight. Step 3. Practice mindful eating. Here's the hard truth. Most people don't eat, they consume. They scroll their phone, watch Netflix, argue, multitask, and the brain never registers the act of eating. Mindless eating disconnects you from satiety. You eat faster, chew less, and consume more before your brain's I'm full signal catches up, which takes about 20 minutes. Mindful eating is the opposite. It's training your attention. Slow down. Smell your food. Chew thoroughly. Notice texture, taste, and satisfaction. It sounds trivial, but it rewires your neural pathways. Research from the University of California, San Francisco found that people who practiced mindful eating reduced binge episodes by over 50% in just 10 weeks, without counting calories. When you eat consciously, you take back control. You stop obeying your impulses and start directing them. Remember the rule: feed your body, not your impulses. Step 4. Create emotional substitutions. Let's be real. You can't remove emotional eating without replacing the reward it gives. Comfort must be substituted, not eliminated. Here are practical swaps. Stress relief. Instead of ice cream, try a hot shower, stretching, or journaling. Reward. Replace a food treat with a walk outdoors, a playlist you love, or a 10-minute mindfulness break. Loneliness. Text someone uplifting. Social connection releases oxytocin, the same hormone that makes you feel safe. Your goal isn't to suppress emotion, it's to redirect it. As neuroscientist Dr. Judson Brewer explains in The Craving Mind, the key to breaking cravings isn't resistance, it's curiosity. When you observe your craving instead of judging it, you weaken its power. Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about pattern interruption. Every small substitution chips away at the old identity, the identity that eats emotions instead of expressing them. Step 5. Build mental fitness. Your mind is a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger your discipline becomes. Build these mental habits daily. Meditate 5 minutes a day. It's not about quieting the mind. It's about observing it. Affirm control. Repeat. I eat with purpose. I control what enters my body. Sleep deeply. Poor sleep raises ghrelin, the hunger hormone, and lowers leptin, the fullness hormone. You can't fight cravings if you're exhausted. And above all, stop moralizing food. You're not good or bad for what you eat. You're simply learning to choose differently. Shame fuels relapse. Awareness fuels progress. Step 6. The discipline mindset. Let's bring it home. Emotional eating is not about lack of willpower. It's about lack of emotional discipline. It's not about the food. It's about what the food is covering up. Every craving has a story. Every impulse has a root. When you take the time to listen, you start to heal. As Dr. Viktor Frankl once wrote in Man's Search for Meaning, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. That space, that pause, is where transformation happens. Every time you pause before reacting, you become stronger. Every time you feel a craving and sit with it, you're rewiring your brain for resilience. Say it with conviction. Master your mind, master your weight. Because this is not about deprivation. It's about liberation. It's not about perfection. It's about discipline. Control your mind, and your body will follow. Every meal becomes a choice. Every craving becomes a lesson. Every victory, no matter how small, becomes a declaration. Chapter 7. Transform your environment. Design for success. Your environment is either working for you or against you. There's no neutral ground. Every choice you make, what you eat, when you move, how you rest, is influenced by what surrounds you. The foods in your pantry, the friends you eat with, the lighting in your kitchen, the layout of your workspace. Here's the truth. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your environment. Most people try to change their body with willpower alone. They keep junk food in the house and tell themselves, "I'll just eat less." That's a lie. It's not about willpower. It's about design. It's not about fighting temptation. It's about removing it. As James Clear wrote in Atomic Habits, environment is the invisible hand that shapes human behavior. If your surroundings make poor choices easy and smart choices hard, your discipline will always be under attack. The good news: you can flip that script. You can design your world so that success becomes automatic. Let's break down exactly how. Step 1. Audit your spaces. You can't change what you don't see. Start by auditing the 3 spaces that influence your weight the most. Your kitchen, your workplace, your social circle. Walk through your kitchen. Open your fridge. Open your cupboards. What do you see first? Chips, soda, leftover takeout, or ready-to-eat vegetables, water, and lean protein? Environment drives behavior through visibility and accessibility. Brian Wansink, a behavioral nutrition expert and author of Mindless Eating, found that people who keep soda visible in their kitchen are 83% more likely to be overweight. People who keep fruit visible are more likely to eat it daily. That's not psychology, that's physics. The closer and more visible something is, the lower the barrier to acting on it. So here's your first rule. If you see it, you'll eat it. If it's hidden, you'll forget it. Put healthy foods in sight. Fruits on the counter, protein snacks on the top shelf, and water bottles in your line of sight. Hide or remove the junk. Your kitchen should look like it belongs to someone who respects their body. Because when your environment is organized for success, your discipline doesn't have to work as hard. Change your environment. Change your outcome. Step 2. Engineer the default setting. We are creatures of habit. 90% of daily actions are automatic. So if you want consistent results, change your defaults. Set up your environment to make healthy actions the easy actions. Pre-plan meals. Cook once, eat twice. Batch cook on Sundays and portion meals into containers. Hydration hack. Keep a water bottle at your desk, in your car, and by your bed. Dehydration often feels like hunger. Sleep cues. Keep your bedroom dark, cool, and phone-free. Cortisol and hunger hormones rise when sleep is poor. B.J. Fogg, author of Tiny Habits, calls this designing for simplicity. Don't rely on motivation. Build friction into bad habits and flow into good ones. Example: want to eat less sugar? Don't keep sweets in the house. Make yourself drive to buy them. That extra step is friction. Want to work out more? Lay out your gym clothes the night before. Reduce friction. Every environment sends you signals. The question is, are yours pushing you towards strength or towards surrender? Remember, it's not about motivation, it's about setup. Change your environment, change your outcome. Step 3. Control your work zone. Your workplace might be silently sabotaging your goals. Endless sitting, office snacks, coffee loaded with sugar, and worst of all, stress eating. A study published in Appetite Journal found that people under work-related stress consumed 30% more calories from snacks than those who weren't stressed. The solution isn't more restraint, it's strategic structure. Keep healthy snacks at your desk, almonds, jerky, or protein bars. Schedule breaks every 90 minutes for short walks or stretches. Eat lunch away from your computer. Multitasking during meals leads to mindless overeating. Replace the afternoon energy drink with water or green tea. You can't always control your job, but you can control your workspace ecosystem. Make it a place that fuels clarity, not chaos. You spend a third of your life working. Make that environment serve your long-term health, not sabotage it. Step 4. Social environments shape identity. Your physical environment matters, but your social environment determines your trajectory. Jim Rohn said it best: you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If your friends mock your effort, push junk food on you, or normalize unhealthy habits, they are not friends of your future. You don't need to cut them off, but you must create boundaries. Surround yourself with people who normalize discipline. Join a fitness group. Follow creators who promote consistency, not quick fixes. Talk to people who challenge you to level up, not those who justify staying stuck. Your social environment shapes what feels normal. Make sure your version of normal aligns with your goals. If your circle doesn't cheer your transformation, find a new circle. Again, change your environment, change your outcome. Step 5. Use visual cues for accountability. Your environment isn't just about food or people. It's about cues that direct behavior. Visual cues keep your goals top of mind. Write your weight or step goal on a whiteboard. Keep a progress photo on your phone lock screen. Place a sticky note on your fridge that says, "Discipline over impulse." Hang your favorite outfit in view as a symbol of your goal. Psychologist Kurt Lewin's research on behavior found that visual reminders create attention that drives completion. In simple terms, what you see, you move toward. So build an environment that constantly whispers your goal back to you. Because in a world full of distractions, reminders are the armor of discipline. Step 6. Master cue avoidance. Now let's talk about the silent assassin of progress, triggers. A trigger is anything that tempts you back into old behavior. The smell of popcorn at the movies, the coworker who offers donuts, the late-night TV habit that comes with snacking. Your job isn't to resist every trigger, it's to avoid or rewire them. Behavioral scientist Wendy Wood, in her book Good Habits, Bad Habits, explains that people with the strongest self-control aren't fighting temptation more often. They encounter it less often. They design their world to protect their focus. That's the art of cue avoidance. Examples. Don't keep your phone near your bed if scrolling triggers late-night snacking. Don't shop hungry. You'll buy cravings, not groceries. Don't watch shows associated with your binge routines. Break the cue chain. Every trigger you remove saves energy for what truly matters. Change your environment. Change your outcome. Step 7. Build environments that reflect discipline. Ultimately, your environment reflects your identity. A cluttered home often mirrors a cluttered mind. A stocked fridge mirrors self-respect. A tidy space mirrors mental clarity. Start designing your surroundings as if you already are the person you want to become. Because identity grows from evidence, not imagination. When your environment supports discipline, discipline stops being a struggle. When your surroundings echo your goals, motivation becomes automatic. Stop trying to force change through brute effort. Engineer it through intelligent design. Remember this principle. It's not about willpower. It's about structure. It's not about trying harder. It's about setting up smarter. Chapter 8. Track, measure, adjust. Your body is your data. If you don't measure it, you can't manage it. If you don't manage it, you can't improve it. And if you can't improve it, you stay stuck, frustrated, and guessing. Let's be clear, your body isn't random. It's a feedback system. It gives you signals every day: energy levels, hunger, sleep quality, mood, performance, weight. All of it is data. But most people ignore the data. They eat without awareness, exercise without tracking, and hope for change without evidence. Hope is not a strategy. Discipline is. Because what gets measured gets managed, and what gets managed gets results. That's not just a slogan. It's a proven principle. Peter Drucker, one of the most influential management thinkers in history, said it first: what gets measured gets managed. The same rule that builds billion-dollar businesses builds better bodies. You are the CEO of your own health. And every CEO needs a dashboard. So let's talk about how to create yours. Step 1. Why tracking works. Most people fear tracking because they think it's obsessive. But tracking isn't about perfection. It's about pattern recognition. You can't fix what you don't understand. Tracking exposes truth. It tells you what's actually happening, not what you think is happening. Maybe you think you're eating healthy, but you're over-snacking on nuts. Maybe you think you're walking enough, but your step count barely breaks 3,000. Maybe you think you're getting results, but your measurements haven't changed in weeks. Without tracking, your progress is a feeling. With tracking, your progress becomes a fact. In Atomic Habits, James Clear wrote, "Measurement offers you evidence of your progress. It tells you if you are moving in the right direction. Tracking doesn't create pressure, it creates power. Because data is power. Data eliminates emotion. Data replaces guessing with precision. When you start seeing your body as a system, not a mystery, you take back control. Remember this, it's not about obsession, it's about awareness. And awareness is the foundation of mastery. Step 2. The 3 core metrics: food, movement, and body. Your body runs on inputs and outputs. The inputs are your nutrition and your habits. The outputs are your results: weight, energy, focus, and sleep. To master your weight, you must track 3 core metrics. 1. Food intake, input data. Start simple. Write down everything you eat for 1 week. Don't change anything yet, just observe. You can use a notebook or an app like MyFitnessPal or Chronometer. When you write it down, you expose your blind spots. You'll see late-night snacks you forgot about, portion sizes that grew over time, and drinks that add hundreds of calories. Dr. Brian Wansink, author of Mindless Eating, found that people who log their meals consume 20% fewer calories on average, without trying to diet. Why? Because writing it down creates accountability. You start asking yourself, do I really want to log this? And that pause, that single moment of awareness, builds discipline. Remember, feed your body, not your impulses. Tracking teaches that distinction. 2. Movement and activity, output data. You don't need to be a gym fanatic. You need to move more, consistently. Track your steps. Aim for a minimum of 8,000 to 10,000 daily. Use your phone, smartwatch, or pedometer. Every step counts. Dr. Minute Lee of Harvard Medical School showed that women who walked 7,500 steps a day had a 40% lower risk of early death than those who walked less than 2,500. That's not fitness hype, that's biology. You can't outthink a sedentary lifestyle, but you can outsmart it with movement tracking. Also log your workouts, strength training sessions, HIIT, cycling, yoga. Note how long you trained, how you felt, and your energy levels afterward. That's how you learn what your body responds best to. Tracking your movement builds consistency, and consistency builds results. 3. Body metrics, progress data. Forget the scale alone. It lies by omission. Track multiple metrics. Weight, once a week, same time, same conditions. Waist and hip circumference, every 2 weeks. Progress photos, front, side, back, monthly, energy and mood logs. These measurements tell a story far beyond the number on the scale. Muscle gain may mask fat loss, but inches and photos tell the truth. When you see evidence, motivation returns. Because progress you can see is progress you can sustain. What gets measured gets managed, and what gets managed gets results. Step 3. Learn to interpret the data. Tracking without interpretation is noise. You must learn to read what your data is saying. Ask yourself, am I eating too much or too little for my activity level? Am I sleeping enough for recovery? Am I plateauing, or still trending in the right direction? If weight loss stalls for 3 to 4 weeks, don't panic. Use your data to adjust. Reduce calories by 10%. Increase step count by 2,000 per day. Add 1 more rest day if you're overtraining. Improve sleep hygiene. Cortisol affects fat storage. The adjustment isn't punishment. It's optimization. Think like a scientist. Each tweak is an experiment. You're not failing, you're refining. Dr. John Berardi, co-founder of Precision Nutrition, teaches this exact approach. Gather feedback, make 1 small change, then reassess in 2 weeks. He calls it the feedback loop of success. That's how pros think. Not emotionally, strategically. Track, measure, adjust, repeat. Because the body rewards precision, not panic. Step 4. Build accountability systems. Tracking isn't just about data, it's about accountability. Accountability is the bridge between intention and action. You can track alone, but results multiply when you're accountable to someone, a coach, a friend, a group, or even a journal. Behavioral science research from the American Society of Training and Development shows that people are 65% more likely to reach their goals when they share them with another person, and 95% more likely when they have scheduled check-ins. So share your progress. Report your wins and losses weekly. If you fall off track, don't hide, analyze. Accountability doesn't expose weakness. It builds resilience. Because discipline loves structure, and structure loves proof. What gets measured gets managed, and what gets managed gets results. Step 5. Replace emotion with evidence. Here's where most people fail. They feel like they are not progressing, so they quit. But feelings lie. Data doesn't. Weight fluctuates. Energy varies. The mirror deceives. But your logbook, your steps, your progress photos, those never lie. The disciplined person knows that success isn't built on how you feel. It's built on what you do and measure. You can't argue with evidence. When you start seeing your life as a set of measurable, improvable systems, everything changes. You stop being reactive. You become analytical. You stop guessing. You start managing. Because mastery isn't emotion, it's evaluation. It's not about mood. It's about metrics. What gets measured gets managed, and what gets managed gets results. Step 6. Automate for sustainability. Tracking doesn't have to be hard. Automate where you can. Use smart scales that log data automatically. Sync step counters with your phone. Use digital journals for meals and habits. Set weekly reminders to review progress. The less friction you have, the more likely you are to stay consistent. You don't need to track forever. Once you build awareness, your habits take over. But during transformation, data is your compass. You don't drive across a country without a map. Chapter 9. Build Iron Will. Consistency beats motivation. Everyone loves motivation, until it disappears. And it always disappears. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is structural. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you moving. If you want to transform your body, stop chasing motivation and start building consistency. Because here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Motivation is a moment. Discipline is a method. Motivation fades when the mood changes. Discipline endures when the feelings die. You don't need more inspiration. You need more repetition. James Clear said it best in Atomic Habits. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And systems are built through consistent, deliberate discipline. That's the difference between amateurs and achievers. Amateurs act when they feel like it. Achievers act until it becomes who they are. Because discipline compounds. Excuses evaporate. Step 1. The motivation myth. Let's expose the myth first. Motivation is unreliable because it's emotion-driven. It's born in excitement, but it dies in difficulty. You feel motivated when the scale moves down. You feel unmotivated when it doesn't. You feel motivated when someone compliments you. You feel unmotivated when no one notices. That's weakness disguised as logic. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. Discipline executes regardless. Dr. Angela Duckworth, in her book Grit, found that the highest achievers weren't the smartest or most talented. They were the most consistent. Her research proved that sustained effort, not initial enthusiasm, predicts success. That's why the gym is full in January and empty in March. Motivation gets people in the door. Discipline keeps them there. You don't need to feel like it. You need to do it. Every single day. Step 2. The power of consistency. Consistency isn't glamorous. It's repetitive. It's boring. It's invisible. But it's also unstoppable. Every meal logged, every workout finished, every step counted. It all stacks. Because discipline compounds. Excuses evaporate. When you show up consistently, your results multiply quietly in the background. The compound effect, described by Darren Hardy, says small, smart choices performed consistently over time lead to massive results. Think of it like a bank account. Every disciplined action is a deposit. Every excuse is a withdrawal. At first, the balance looks small. Then, one day, it explodes. That's not luck. That's compounding discipline. You don't need to do it perfectly. You need to do it consistently. Because perfect is fantasy. Consistent is freedom. Step 3. Build repeatable daily systems. Stop waiting for willpower. Build systems that make consistency automatic. Your day should be designed for success, not left to chance. Here's how to structure it. Morning routine. Start the day in control. Win the first hour, and you'll win the rest. Drink a full glass of water immediately upon waking. Move your body. Stretch, walk, or train. Eat a balanced, protein-rich breakfast if it fits your plan. The The first win sets the tone. Momentum creates motivation, not the other way around. Midday routine. Your day will test your resolve. Stress, fatigue, convenience. These are traps. Build checkpoints to stay aligned. Pack your meals or snacks ahead of time. Schedule a 5-minute movement break every hour. Track your intake in real time, not later. Remember, success is built in the middle of the day when excuses are loudest. Evening routine. End your day with reflection, not regret. Review your progress, meals, activity, mindset. Prepare for tomorrow. Set out clothes, pack food, plan workouts. Go to bed at a consistent time. Consistency isn't random. It's rehearsed. The disciplined person doesn't try to stay consistent. They engineer it. Step 4. The 5-minute rule. Here's one of the simplest consistency hacks. The 5-minute rule. If you don't want to do something, tell yourself to do it for 5 minutes. Walk for 5 minutes. Stretch for 5 minutes. Prep food for 5 minutes. Because once you start, the hardest part is over. Momentum does the rest. Behavioral psychologist Dr. B.J. Fogg, in Tiny Habits, proved that starting small creates sustainable change. You lower resistance, build confidence, and trick your brain into action. Discipline doesn't start with massive effort. It starts with micro-effort. And those micro-efforts multiply. Because discipline compounds. Excuses evaporate. Step 5. Micro-habits that forge consistency. You don't build discipline overnight. You build it one habit at a time. Here are micro-habits that enforce daily structure. Same wake time every day. You train your body clock for consistency. Prelog your meals. You decide once, instead of fighting temptation all day, wear your workout clothes early. This is an activation cue. You prime your brain for action. Use visible triggers. Keep water bottles in sight. Keep junk food out of reach. Reflect nightly. Ask, did I act with discipline today? Each habit reinforces identity. You're not just doing disciplined things. You're becoming a disciplined person. James Clear calls this identity-based habits. You don't say, I'm trying to eat healthy. You say, I'm the kind of person who eats with purpose. That's the shift. From forcing behavior to embodying character. Because when discipline becomes identity, consistency becomes effortless. Step 6. Handle the off days. Even the most disciplined people have off days. The difference is how they handle them. The undisciplined person misses one workout and spirals into guilt. The disciplined person misses one workout and shows up the next day stronger. They understand that one mistake doesn't define the mission. It's not about perfection. It's about recovery speed. Navy SEAL Commander Jocko Willink says, discipline equals freedom. Freedom from chaos, from guilt, from emotional roller coasters. Discipline gives you control, even when motivation collapses. If you fall, you don't restart. You resume. Because discipline compounds. Excuses evaporate. Step 7. The emotion versus execution framework. Here's a rule to live by. Emotion doesn't decide, execution does. Before every action, ask yourself one question. What would the disciplined version of me do right now? Then do that. You don't negotiate with feelings. You execute based on standards. This framework builds mental armor. It removes debate. Because debate kills consistency. The moment you allow negotiation, excuses creep in. And excuses don't just delay progress. They destroy identity. Every time you skip a workout, overeat, or forget to track, you reinforce weakness. But every time you follow through, even when it's hard, you reinforce strength. Discipline compounds. Excuses evaporate. Step 8. Stack proof, not promises. People talk too much about what they'll do and too little about what they've done. Stop making promises. Start stacking proof. Every check mark, every logged meal, every workout completed, that's evidence. That's momentum. And momentum is magnetic. The more you collect wins, the easier the next one becomes. You don't build belief first and then act. You act first, and belief follows. In The War of Art, Stephen Pressfield writes, the most important thing about art is to work. Nothing else matters except sitting down every day and trying. Step 9. The compound effect of discipline. Let's make this clear. The body you want isn't built in a week. It's built in 1,000 micro-decisions. Every small act of discipline compounds. Chapter 10. Maintain and Thrive. Weight Mastery for Life. Congratulations! You've learned how to understand your body, master your appetite, fuel smart, move with purpose, fix your hormones, outsmart emotional eating, transform your environment, track and measure progress, and build iron will. You've built the foundation. You've executed the systems. You've endured the challenges. But here's the hard truth. Most people fail not during the transformation. They fail after the results arrive. They lose the weight, feel great, then slowly slide back into old habits. Weight mastery isn't just about losing pounds. It's about sustaining results for life. This is where the real battle begins. Weight mastery isn't a short sprint. It's a marathon. And the finish line is a moving target. Social events, travel, holidays, stress, and life changes constantly test your discipline. To thrive, you need strategies for integration, flexibility, and sustainability. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about persistence. It's not about restriction, it's about rhythm. Step 1. Understand the rebound risk. Rebound weight gain is a biological reality. Your body evolved to defend against starvation, not abundance. Hormones like leptin and ghrelin adjust after weight loss to increase appetite and reduce energy expenditure. That means the same strategies that got you lean may eventually require adjustments to prevent backsliding. Dr. Michael Rosenbaum, a weight regulation researcher, emphasizes that the body actively resists long-term weight loss by increasing hunger signals and lowering metabolic rate. Ignoring this biological reality is like ignoring traffic laws. Eventually, you will crash. The solution isn't willpower alone. It's strategic lifestyle integration. You maintain by creating habits that are flexible yet consistent. It's not about restriction forever. It's about mastering your patterns and staying aware of your triggers. Step 2. Establish maintenance systems. Just as you built systems for weight loss, you must build systems for weight maintenance. Systems create consistency without requiring constant motivation. 1. Structured flexibility. Don't eliminate enjoyment. Instead, structure it. Plan your meals around consistency, not extremes. Schedule a weekly flex meal where you can enjoy your favorite foods guilt-free. Use the 80-20 principle. Eat nutrient-dense, high-protein, fiber-rich foods 80% of the time and allow flexibility 20%. This prevents the mental burnout that leads to binging and rebound. 2. Monitor key metrics. You've tracked weight, progress photos, and activity during transformation. Continue this in a lighter, sustainable way. Weekly weigh-ins, monthly waist measurements, periodic check-ins on energy levels, mood, and digestion. Small, consistent tracking creates awareness without obsession. It keeps you accountable and prevents unconscious drift back to old habits. 3. Habit stacking for life. Stack maintenance habits onto existing routines. Morning, continue water, mobility, and mindfulness. Workday, maintain step goals, movement breaks, and mindful eating. Evening, prepare meals, reflect on consistency, plan for the next day. These aren't new habits. They are evolved habits, optimized for sustainability. Step 3. Social and environmental mastery. One of the biggest challenges in maintenance is navigating social life. Parties, dinners, travel, and holidays can dismantle hard-earned progress if you're unprepared. 1. Social situations. Eat mindfully. Don't arrive starving. Pack a small protein-rich snack if you're unsure of the menu. Focus on conversation, not food. Engage your social energy elsewhere. Allow indulgence, but in controlled portions. Practice your 80-20 principle in action. Your friends and family don't need to be restricted. You need to be disciplined. 2. Travel strategies. Travel is often a trigger for unhealthy eating and inactivity. Mitigate this by planning workouts, use hotel gyms, bodyweight routines, or walking toys. Packing protein snacks or supplements to prevent impulse eating. Scheduling meals around activity. Exercise first, fuel second. Even during travel, small, consistent behaviors compound. Discipline compounds. Excuses evaporate. 3. Holiday and special events. Holidays can derail months of effort. Don't approach them with guilt. Approach them with strategy. Pre-plan indulgences. Decide in advance what and how much you will enjoy. Balance with increased activity or hydration. Don't skip routines completely. Even a 15-minute walk counts. Mastering social and environmental factors is about proactive planning, not reactive shame. Step 4. Continue nutritional awareness. Even after reaching your goal, you must maintain awareness of your nutrition. Protein priority. Continue aiming for lean protein at every meal. It sustains satiety, preserves muscle, and fuels metabolism. Fiber focus. Vegetables, fruits, and whole grains remain essential for digestion, energy, and weight control. Hydration. Water is the silent regulator. Many post-weight loss setbacks are linked to underhydration masquerading as hunger. It's not about strict dieting. It's about nourishing the body consistently. Research by Dr. Susan Roberts at Tufts University confirms that habitual protein intake and high fiber consumption predict long-term weight stability. Not calorie obsession, not deprivation, consistent, quality nutrition. Step 5. Exercise as a lifestyle, not punishment. Exercise doesn't stop when the scale reaches your target. It evolves from a tool of transformation to a tool of maintenance and vitality. Mix strength, cardio, and mobility for long-term health. Integrate activity into daily life, walking meetings, stairs, cycling, and active hobbies. Keep intensity moderate to high 3 to 5 times per week, but don't obsess over perfection. Your body responds to consistent, purposeful movement, not sporadic bursts. Exercise is no longer punishment. It's insurance against relapse. Dr. Wayne Westcott, a leading researcher in strength training, emphasizes that lifelong muscle maintenance prevents metabolic decline and supports weight stability. Step 6. Mental strategies for long-term success. Maintenance is as much mental as physical. Your mindset must evolve. 1. Identity over results. Think like the person who naturally maintains weight. I am someone who eats with awareness, moves daily, and tracks progress. Identity reinforces behavior automatically. 2. Mindfulness and self-awareness. Continue journaling, reflection, or brief mindfulness practices to stay aware of triggers, cravings, and emotional eating tendencies. 3. Adjust, don't punish. When progress slips, don't punish. Adjust. Analyze the data, refine habits, then move forward. Progress is not linear, it's cumulative. Weight mastery isn't a goal, it's a way of living. Step 7. Longevity and energy integration. The ultimate goal is not just weight, it's energy, health, and vitality for life. Prioritize sleep. Poor sleep disrupts hormones and increases appetite. Stress management. Cortisol spikes sabotage long-term control, recovery, muscles, joints, and metabolism thrive when you allow rest. Your goal is sustainable performance, not short-term appearance. Step 8. Continuous learning and adaptation. Life changes, and so must your habits. Pregnancy, career shifts, aging, and travel all impact your energy, appetite, and schedule. Keep tracking lightly. Revisit your systems quarterly. Learn new strategies from experts. Nutrition, fitness, and behavioral science evolve constantly. Stay curious. Stay adaptive.